So I asked AI where sin comes from. And honestly, something about the answer didn't sit right with me. My friends, we are living in a time where people are starting to trust AI for answers about life, about purpose, even about things that seems to be spiritually deep. So I test AI with something little but important. I ask it, where does sin comes from? And the answer I got sounded calm, logical, even intelligent. AI said that sin is human concept, something that the society created over time to define what is right and wrong, which is shaped by culture, personal values, and social norms. At first, the answer sounded reasonable, but the more I thought about it, the more something felt off. Because if sin is just a human idea, like AI said, then it means that it is flexible, it changes, it depends on opinion. And what this means is that something that is considered wrong today could be accepted tomorrow. And that's where I have a problem. Because from a spiritual perspective, sin isn't just about what society agrees on. It is not about feelings or opinion. It is deeper than that. Sin reflects something broken, something that separates us from God. But AI doesn't see it that way. You see, artificial intelligence is trained on human knowledge, what people have written, debated, and believed. So when it talks about sin, it is not speaking from spiritual truth, it's just reflecting human understanding. And if that understanding is constantly changing, then the answer artificial intelligence will give will keep changing. So instead of painting to something that is fixed, it points to something that is shifting. And that's where it becomes dangerous. If someone goes to artificial intelligence looking for clarity about sin, what they might get is an answer that sounds convincing, but slowly removes the idea of truth. It replicates it with the idea that we define right from wrong for ourselves. And without realizing it, that can shape how we think. Because if sin is just a concept, then there is no real weight to it. No, no accountability. It becomes something you can explain away or something you can adjust to fit your life. And that's what made me pause. Not because the answer was aggressive, but because it was subtle. It sounded safe. It sounded modern. It sounded like something you could accept without even questioning. And that's exactly why artificial intelligence is powerful. It doesn't challenge you directly. It just reframes things slowly. It shifts your perspective without you even noticing. And the more people rely on artificial intelligence for answers about morality and spirituality, the more influence those ideas will have. You start to see a world where truth becomes flexible, where everything depends on perspective. But not everything should be left to perspective. Some things go deeper than human agreement. And when it comes to something like sin, reducing it to just a social idea removes its meaning completely. It turns something serious into something negotiable. And that's where I became unsettled. Because artificial intelligence didn't say anything extreme, it just left something out. It took something spiritual and explained it in a purely human terms. And if that becomes how people understand sin, then over time, the meaning behind it will start to fade away slowly. You go from seeing sin as something that separates you from God to something that just that is just a difference in opinion. And once that shift happens, it is hard to notice. That's why I think we need to be careful. AI can be useful. It can help us learn and explore ideas. But when it comes to things that define truth, belief, and how we live, we should be intentional, because not every answer that sounds intelligent is complete, and not every explanation that feels right is actually true. So the real question isn't just what AI said about sin. This is it. What are we starting to believe because of it? And are we paying attention, or we are just taking it as it goes?